Identities are both visible and invisible. We oftentimes characterize people demographically into various boxes, related to characteristics such as race, ethnicity, religious affiliation, socioeconomic status, education, and so on. Some of these traits are visible, some are not. When you think of your own identity, what comes to mind? Are there aspects of your identity that are more prominent than others? What makes that so? How important is that to you? How important are these traits in relation to others who are valued by you and your community? This is nothing new. Humans have been largely tribal throughout our history. For reasons of safety and survival, there was a need to form cohesive connections between those who are us, differentiating those who belong from them, those others who could be a potential threat. This has been the foundation of human tribes and societies from the beginning of our evolution. The word xenophobia is a Greek-derived word that means to fear or dislike anything that is perceived to be foreign or strange. This reflexive tendency exists and is worthy of examination. However, something curious happens when something or someone becomes familiar. That same person or object no longer remains threatening once connection has been established. That is also a human tendency. This is why people who live in diverse urban centers and attend universities with diverse student populations tend to have openness towards those who do not share their perceived identity. Once you get to know people from various backgrounds, it's difficult to falsely believe stereotypes as being gospel truth. Prejudice assumptions become challenged by the experience of connecting with people on a human level. The quote, "a stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet," has been attributed to both Will Rogers and Roy E. Stolworthy, an important consideration when challenging implicit bias. Implicit biases are subconscious feelings, attitudes, prejudice, stereotypes, or other influences that have negatively shaped a person's view of a particular group of people, etc. It's not possible to grow up in a society and not be exposed to the prejudices shared by the people in the communities that shape your upbringing. The responsibility is to be thoughtful of which values you choose to cherish and how some of the things you may have been taught may have been well-meaning but misguided. Phenotypes are observed biological characteristics such as hair, eye, or skin color, body shape including height, muscle fat distribution, basically what you can see by looking at someone. Other observable cultural identifiers could be things like music, food, clothing, styles, and language. Because each culture is rich and vast in its own unique ways, as are the people that comprise them, there exist countless characteristics that are not always visibly obvious. Consider the people in your closest social circle, who may be similar to yourself. The people you spend the most time with or feel most connected to. Can you think of how you are also different from them? Seeing each person in your social circle as being an individual. Perhaps there are things that you admire about them, other things which you disagree, but love them anyway. It's usually easy to see the individual differences amongst people who share largely the same demographics as yourself. Yet when thinking of groups of people who are not familiar, how condensed that vision of a person becomes. Those people are like this, they all want that. Within each complex person lies nuance and intersectionality. This is important to remember when taking the journey of freeing oneself from harmful beliefs about the self and others. Having awareness of how our own culture shapes how we perceive ourselves and others is key to understanding how biases form. This mindful reflection invites intentional consideration into how negative self-reflections may have shaped your beliefs and perceptions. It also sheds light on how it can change. This is especially helpful when working on letting go of cultural expectations that inhibit self-acceptance. The first step in examining harmful beliefs is to notice them occurring in your inner dialogue. Notice your assumptions. These are opportunities for engaging examination of where these thoughts or feelings originated, and challenging oneself to take a look at where they can also be challenged. And if you notice them, perhaps it can be amended, it can be changed, or discarded entirely. Thank you for watching this entire video to the end. Thank you. I hope that you have found it to be helpful. If you would like further guidance on how to utilize mindfulness and cognitive behavioral practices to let go of negative beliefs that cause feelings of shame surrounding sex and sexuality, then I invite you to check out a workbook I created called Slut: Letting Go of Shame Around Sex and Sexuality. This book includes personal stories shared by people about their journeys of self-acceptance, in addition to reflective questions that assist the reader in letting go of barriers surrounding sexual shame. I'm happy to announce that Slut: Letting Go of Shame Around Sex and Sexuality can now be found on Amazon and anywhere books are sold. Thank you for your support.